Hey, folks, welcome to the Generational Gap. I'm Robert, your resident Gen Xer. Way over there on the other side of me, far side, that's John, our resident millennial. John, welcome. How are you tonight?
I am welcome, and I am good. I'm at excellent, actually,
Oh, gosh,
and
calm
slightly,
down.
slightly intoxicated, but
Slightly. Just
that's
keep it
fine.
as slightly, okay? Can we
I
just
know.
keep it as slightly, please? Because
I'm just gonna maintain.
when
That's all.
you're in your spirits, you're abhorrent.
It's called
Um,
being up in your cups. And yeah, no, I'm not at the belligerent stage yet. We'll see what
Good.
happens.
So we've got special guests tonight. Anybody who's in Discord might have seen someone begging to come on the show. Did you notice that, John? All the
I
begging and
did
the
notice
oh,
that.
please come on the show, come on the show. So we've got Midget B in the house tonight. Of course, if Midget B is in the house, going to be talking to us tonight, you can be sure that the undead are walking in the form of Comicsgate. So we'll be talking about some of that craziness in just a little bit. John, how was your weekend? I did not see you this weekend, so
You
how
did
was it?
not. You were conspicuously absent from the weekend, unfortunately.
Did you have some good
Much to our
times without
dismay.
me?
Yeah, we started like an ad hoc D&D session, so that was kind of cool, I guess.
Is ad hoc anything like ham hock? So were there beans?
There were no beans. No beans
Damn.
were involved in the playing of this D&D session.
See,
No.
ad hoc always sounds so good until you realize there's really no pork involved.
Right. Unfortunately, there's no pork involved.
So was I missed? Are you telling me I was missed just a smidge,
Oh yeah.
but
Yeah,
not?
we were gonna come out and save you, and then we didn't do that though.
Yeah. Well,
So
I appreciate the offer to
we
come
thought
out,
about
so
it.
the
Yeah.
rescue operation. But yeah, yeah, I was sad to miss it. I'll see if I can't rectify that this weekend.
Well, I hope so,
A little
because
rectal rectification, especially
well,
with Midget there.
oh yes, it was a way
Right.
to
I
give it
plan
up.
to be conspicuously present. And
Yeah.
so I would hope that you were not conspicuously absent yet again. That would disappoint me.
Aw, see, I get so close to feeling special at these moments, and then my heart just goes
That's
cold again.
touching.
It is touching a certain place.
I touch myself. Hey,
Whoa.
before we get into
Ayo.
that fun stuff that Midget wants to talk about, because he always wants to talk about fun stuff, and I know what he wants
Oh,
to
yeah,
talk
sure,
about.
of course.
I've
That's all
looked.
I ever want to talk about on my OneNote. Yep, let's just
Did I
drink
say
and
fun
hang out
stuff?
and talk about that one thing.
I said I said fun
Fun stuff
stuff.
in
It was
general.
very broad. It's a very broad general category, isn't
Oh, it
it?
always fun. I promise fun. Whenever I
Gosh.
Yes.
Ooh, somebody's feeling a little.
Absolutely.
open my
Ooh,
mouth, you can guarantee
somebody's
fun
building. Somebody's
to be
building a
had.
wall. Jeez Louise.
Right. Build
Defensive
that
much?
wall.
Hey,
Build the wall.
John, I wanted to get a little bit of libertarian reaction from you. One's
Uh-oh.
libertarian reaction, the other is going to be some generational reaction. Midget, I'll go ahead and include you in this since you kind of fall into the same mindset as this
Nice.
loser over here to the other side of you. Um, so, John, I saw an article and I was interested in this. There's going to be an art festival, well, an art music festival. What was it called? It was what was the name of it? It had a fun name, Afro Future Fest. Okay, it's the
Afro.
Yeah,
Afro
Future
Future
Fest.
Fest in
That sounds
Detroit, right?
awesome.
And
Oh, in Detroit. Never mind.
now the problem here was they had this festival, and for the festival they had two ticket prices. They had the early ticket prices, if you got them in advance, were $10 for people of color and
Hmm.
$20 for non-people of color.
Sure.
Those were
Um,
advance tickets.
and then the normal, later date pricing, at the gate, that kind of thing was 20 for people of color and 40 for non-people of color. And I want to talk to you a little bit from the libertarian mindset. So first off, real quick, civil rights. As a
Hey.
libertarian, do you think that should go away so that it doesn't convolute in with all our basic constitutional rights?
Well, so what I think we need to do is at least have a consistent standard across the board, right? So if it's okay for something like that to charge less for people of color and more to, I guess, white people, would obviously be non-people of color, then obviously it should be okay for white people to charge less for white people and more to people of color. But of course, if that was reversed, that would be a massive problem.
Right.
So I think if we're going to have a standard, it needs to be applied consistently across the board. So I mean, I have no problem with it. Just don't bitch if it's the other way around.
Right. So now, from the standpoint of free market, do you kind of agree that this is a free market move that someone could do at a public festival like this?
Yeah, 100%.
Does that fall under the free market umbrella?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can charge whatever you want to whoever you want.
So, is it a violation of civil rights, though, and let me quote the Civil Rights Act, says all persons shall be entitled to the full and equal enjoyment of the goods, services, facilities, and privileges, advantages, and accommodations of any place of public accommodation as defined in this section without discrimination or segregation on the ground of race, color, religion, or national origin. So am I correct that this festival violates civil rights in and of itself by doing what it's doing?
So, yeah.
Trying to bring equity to the races because they say people of color are disenfranchised in Detroit and need a break on the ticket prices.
Yeah, no, like I said, I would say, yeah, that violates it still.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure.
It doesn't bring economic status into it, right? It just brings,
no,
race
in color. It's purely about color.
it's all race, right?
So now, from the
it absolutely violates that, but I don't think that should be around. So
right. So for the free market to actually operate as a free market to where this would be acceptable, the Civil Rights Act needs to go away ultimately. Correct?
I mean, I wouldn't push for it at the moment, but I do hope that we can eventually get to a point where that's no longer that becomes irrelevant legislation.
Midget, what do you say on this? Do you have some stunning input to offer for this one?
Oh, in terms of civil rights?
Correct.
I mean, I have given this some thought in the past, wherein, I think that there is in this some small role for the federal government, wherein it being outlined in the Constitution that, among other things, they're responsible for the collective defense, and I think they should also serve a role in ensuring that every American citizen has the same. I don't know about legally permissible, I don't know, activities, but at least the same sort of civil rights to a degree that, every American, there should be an enforced minimum standard, and that would be a role of federal government, is to be we draw the line of acceptability here, and this is a minimum of what a citizen, it means to be a citizen of the United States, moreover than, a citizen of your state.
Right, but who decides where that line is drawn and how often it gets moved and where it gets moved to?
And
that's kind of
it's difficult. Yeah, it requires a vigilant population, which is something we haven't had in generations.
Roundtable decision in the House. How are you doing this evening?
Hey, yeah, what's up, Wyatt?
At least one rapper. Yeah, Tiny Jag pulled out of the festival.
Wait, who?
Her name is Tiny Jag. She's a biracial rapper based out of Detroit. She was set to perform at the Afrofest, and she pulled out. And she said, "I was immediately enraged just because I am biracial. I have family members that would have, under those circumstances, been subjected to something that I would not ever want them to be in, especially not because of anything that I have going on."
See, that's why I go with the free market in that case, right? Because that's going to cause issues.
Right, but
she's famous enough to make a stink about it and show why it's a ridiculous standard. There's no federal government needed in this case, or even the state government.
But it is the simple fact of the Civil Rights Act that prevents businesses from doing things like this to where we have to go to the Supreme Court to get them to determine if it actually violated civil or
Ooh.
constitutional rights, and
J.
once
Edgar can free my market anytime he
Well,
wants.
J.
Just
Edgar's going
saying.
to
well,
free the market.
also,
Yeah.
bad news, and outrage and drama, and the vocal minority, they get news stories written about him because those get clicks. But it's nice to
Hmm.
see like a normal person getting a headline, because that's in a way like how the media can make people feel isolated is that they'll magnify this minority view, and instead, minimize the number of stories that people see of normal people who don't agree with these ridiculous opinions, and people feel isolated, like, oh my God, am I the only one who feels this way? And, there's so much fear and hostility, and even bringing
Yeah.
up these conversations these days that, like, you might trigger somebody, but at least they're aposematic, they display danger colors, and they're very easy to distinguish in a lot of cases.
Danger
People with
colors.
whom you are right, you have no chance of having a logical, reasonable, calm, discussion about much of anything.
Yeah.
But still, they must be heard. Uh,
Oh, because their lived experience is way, worth way more than facts.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Because you're telling their truth. There's no such
hey,
thing as
right, it's
the truth.
theirs.
yeah,
There's
but
only
see,
my
that's just
truth and
Right,
your
of
truth
course.
and everyone else's truths.
right. Everybody has their own truth. I mean, you
Right.
can't.
And they're all equally valid, Robert. You
They
fucking
are.
bigot. God damn it.
So here's the second thing that I wanted to ask you about. Now, this one is going to speak to both your generation and to your libertarianism. So, it was an article that was out by the HuffPost. Groan, roll eyes, thank you, enjoy. But anyway,
Yeah.
and the
I
title.
heard that
Did you
too.
hear that? I'm
I did.
sorry.
I heard Midget's eyes roll.
But
Just
the reason I looked at it was because of the title. It says
It's
progress.
because you have a subscription and you're
No,
paying like.
prog- remember the rule about when you speak.
Oh,
only when you're spoken to, Midget. Come on.
All right, so the title of the article was Progressive Boomers Are Making It Impossible for Cities to Fix the Housing Crisis. So, of course, it drew my attention.
It's the
But,
boomers' fault.
but basically,
Always.
what this is talking about is older people in established neighborhoods fighting against zoning laws that would bring in, less
high
expensive,
density.
less
Yeah.
expensive housing, high density apartments, transportation, things like this. They're like, no, not in my backyard. We don't want crime. We don't want this. We don't want that. To the extent of going to these meetings and just screaming over, any of the younger people that are wanting these more socialist activities, these more homeless oriented things to clean the cities up, making claims like our city's full, we don't need more people in the city,
Mm-hmm.
et cetera, et cetera. To the extent of if it doesn't work in the meetings, that they'll go and they'll look into the zoning laws and look at the permits and try and find ways to shut these projects down. And the claim is that they're doing it because there are these wealthy people, older established wealthy people in these neighborhoods that are holding on to these old values of, well, this is my property, we'll make a stand
Yeah.
and we'll hold on to our houses and our neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So,
Private property is racist. We already know that.
so,
That's
um,
right. Because of generational, impoverishment, and
Hmm.
whatever.
No,
I mean, not that some
I
of
mean
it's
that's
not
exactly what it
valid,
is.
but
Right,
not
but
that
no,
some
it's
of it's
inherent.
not
No,
valid,
private
but
property is
I mean,
inherently racist.
well,
Marxism now.
owning a home for however you want to define it, from the standpoint of whether you own the property, the side or the other,
right,
whatever you
owning.
think, owning a home is owning a home, and there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot to be said about it, and it does change your perspective because we are in a mentality that, of course, the home has to maintain and increase in value, and the only way
Hmm.
a home does that is if the neighborhood stays and grows and prospers. And many residents in neighborhoods don't see these kind of progressive moves as positive
It's because
from
progressive don't own homes. They don't.
right. So what do you think
Yeah.
about this, John? Do you think this is a this is a purely generational issue, or is this people that have stood their ground and are now standing up for their rights to
Yeah. No. It's an ideological
It's all
issue.
well. It's almost as though these social programs erode against productivity and investment.
Mm-hmm.
Almost, unless some big like what's going on in your part of the world right now, where they're rezoning like Maitland and Longwood, and where they're
Mm-hmm.
rezoning these places for high density housing over retail space, with included parking garages and stuff. You're going to see like massive influxes of you know lower to lower to middle class folks, and there's going to be not much change in infrastructure. It's going to lag behind, and yeah, it's gonna cause issues in 15 years, 10, 15 years, and unless you're one of the landowners that built one of those buildings, your
Mm-hmm.
property value is probably going down.
yeah, it's a tough road to hoe whenever you own a house. It's a gamble. I mean, I've been in it once, and this was during the housing bubble, and I mean, it's a kick in the testicles whenever you see your property values drop by $250,000.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, that's quite a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Is
yeah.
that like a specific example you're? Because
That
that's
was the
like a
first home
nightmare
I ever
amount.
owned. Yeah, that was the first home I ever
That's
owned during the bubble.
that's a freaking nightmare
Yeah,
amount.
yeah,
200, a
Yeah.
quarter of $1 million in
yes,
loss in equity. That's fucking insane.
yeah.
Yeah.
So but things were so inflated. They were getting so inflated, so inflated, so inflated. It was bound to happen.
Oh,
And
you got
we
it in the
were,
'09 thing. You
yeah,
did the
yeah, we were,
'09 thing.
yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So we were snowed into believing everything was going to be fine. There was,
You
the
rode the
house was safe.
bubble. Yep.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
it burst underneath us.
Fantastic.
So
The house you yeah wasn't worth no three
you know,
hundred and thirty thousand dollars. Hell no.
but you see, you play this game with owning property where you invest in it. I mean, you're looking, most home loans are going to be 30, 40 years. That you're expecting, so you've got to think about these things, and you got to think about the safety of your children in the neighborhood, and your valuables, your family, all of it. So the real question becomes, are these, you know, are there where do libertarians stand on this idea, and where do you from a generation stand on these ideas of to address the homeless problem, we need to create more low income housing, we need to make this available so these people can get jobs, and the idea is they're going to eventually get out of those apartments and buy a house once there's enough houses.
I mean, Section 8 housing is proven to be ineffective, right? People will just stay in them multi generationally. And so they'll just pass
That's why the
on,
wait list is so long.
Right, no, absolutely. And it's really shitty, but it's not the solution. The government is almost never the solution to these sorts of problems.
You're getting a lot of wind, midget.
Yeah, yeah, if you can turn your mic off when you're not, you might need to go to text, push to talk. Because yeah, it's pretty bad. But yeah, I mean, you're never gonna get rid of something like homelessness. That's never gonna happen. We've always had it, and we probably will always have it.
you know
Um, I mean, because the biggest problem is that they don't want to be helped, for the most part, right? There are some people who just genuinely fell on hard times. Something like it's not their fault entirely, and that's fine. That's someone that you can help, but the vast majority, it's their own choice, their own choices that put them outdoors, and they're not looking to get help.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, and
So I mean, it's very difficult. But I mean, if you look at places like New York and San Francisco, especially, LA, Seattle, the places that have huge amounts of homelessness, it's because they subsidize that lifestyle, right? They do things like offer free needles, so it makes it easier to be a heroin junkie, and be, clean about it at
Well, it
least,
right.
you know.
It makes it easier to not spread HIV.
Well, I mean, then
You
you give
know,
then you give things like EPD and all these other kind of subsidy programs that enable that kind of lifestyle, and so they have no incentive to fix it when they're just getting essentially free money from the city.
Hmm. So then I'm correct that an improper it's an improper accusation that boomers, as they call them in this article, these long-term residents aren't really doing anything wrong by standing up to protect their property and values,
No,
right?
they're just getting in the way of quote unquote progress.
But this is how they learned it.
naturally progress, of
This is
course.
how
Yes.
the older generations learn to do it, right?
Yeah.
You get your piece and you fight for it and you make it yours and you do what you can to protect it, and that's what they're doing.
Right.
And yeah, so but
And
one
so
other
getting in the
thing
way.
that I want to point out, I think that the word boomer is now going to start conflating multiple generations
Well,
of
yeah,
older
because
people.
the thing is, it's boomer is a meme more than it's a generation. I
Right,
understand it's also a generation, but it's mostly a meme.
right.
It's more of a mindset, kind of like a neckbeard.
Well,
A neckbeard is, or a basement dweller. Basement dweller is a mindset, not a location, right?
yeah. Well,
It's the same kind of deal.
you'll
Just
confuse
like
some of us
neckbeard, yeah.
boomers who
Yeah,
know
that's
what
what
a
I was saying.
boomer is.
Neckbeard.
You'll
My neck
confuse.
is quite shaved, but I
Still, you're
feel at
you're still a basement dwelling neckbeard, even though you live on the second
behold,
floor.
See,
behold my
Okay.
his
avatar. Yeah,
he,
behold my
he,
Yeah.
he can
avatar.
qualify as a neckbeard with the amount of pubic hair that's usually on his face. Um, all right, all right. So good. Well, I just wanted to get some input on that because it speaks to a couple of different things there. This
Yeah.
but I mean, it's like all I'm thinking is go get yourself a house and see what happens. Get yourself a
Right.
house and some kids and see what your mindset becomes about being
these these
progressive in
these
my neighborhood.
people, these progressive people, they don't understand those terms. They don't think in those terms because they'll never achieve that. They, in a lot of cases, they're quote unquote homeless because they're sharing a studio apartment with 5 people in LA and they can't pay their damn rent. Between the 5 of them, and they got to
Yeah.
crowdfund sandwiches, and
Oh my
these
God.
people are
Yeah.
failures. These people like, subsidize my existence. I'm entitled to like
The
exist.
yeah.
Right. Ma Gibbs.
Now,
Yeah.
now
No free government Gibbs.
for those of us who are just openly lazy, we're okay. It's okay if we take part in that stuff, though, right?
What? No.
Naturally. I mean, it's
I'm
for
no, no,
you,
no,
bro.
no.
It's for
I'm
you.
not gonna
It's
blow any
for you,
smoke up
by
your butt.
you.
I'm not gonna. I'm not.
If you're lazy, it's for you, by you. That's what this is about. These people can't afford rent in a studio apartment
Hmm.
in LA. They have to split it 6 ways and sleep on the couch. They got to crowdfund sandwiches,
Wait, they have a
and
couch? Holy shit.
yeah, and
That's
they're lucky to
luxurious,
have
dude.
one couch. It's made out of pallets and raggedy blankets,
Yeah, oh my
and you
God.
have to you get your night on the pallet couch
Yeah. Just alternate.
because there's 6 of you in the apartment. One of you
But
gets it
no.
twice a week. You get
Skylar, it's my turn on the couch tonight. Yeah.
That's right.
Skylar.
You know his name is Skylar.
But they're gonna hit some gnarly waves tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Gage and like
Oh
Skylar.
yeah.
Dylan. There's gonna
Skylar.
be a Dylan in
Oh
there.
yeah, there's gonna be a Dylan. Yeah. This is very
This
detailed,
is very.
isn't it,
It
Wyatt?
is. It is. We're right.
We've known people like this.
We're
Trust
doing a reality show.
me. We've known people exactly like this. Never a
Oh,
Skylar. I've never known a Skylar
There's
before.
gotta-
but-
Actually, the crowdfunding sandwich is a reference to Kieran Shake. KIERANSCIHIACH.
So not
Yeah.
the palate.
Did- Hey, are you in a wind tunnel? Is that what you're going through right
Yeah.
now? A wind
Oh shit,
tunnel?
Michael Vega made it.
Oh, look at
Thanks for
that.
gracing us with your presence, Michael Vega. Appreciate it.
I thought I heard goose stepping.
No, that's Seawall. He's
No,
not in
that's
here yet.
Seawall. Yeah, where is
Yeah.
he? Where's he been?
I haven't seen him in a while.
Michael Vega,
He got a new
welcome,
job.
sir.
Yeah,
He
we
got a
got
new
a lot.
job. Oh, so he's like busy, like
Yeah,
flipping burgers
Seawall's
or
all gay
something while
now.
we're doing this.
I mean, I know what he does, but I'm not. He doesn't want to have me say that on the air. So, but it's not
Shh,
flipping burgers.
John.
It's actually
John.
pretty. It's actually pretty cool.
John. Shh.
Is it like IT security?
I'm not saying nothing.
He
It's,
works for the
shh.
government, doesn't he?
I'm not saying nothing.
My classification.
He's a company cuck now. I agree with Michael Vega.
All right, so
He sold his soul to the company store.
all right, you filth faggot, flagging son of a.
Whoa! I heard that
Is
word.
he one of those glowing basketballers I've heard about?
All right,
Seawall is definitely glowing. He's irradiated for sure.
so John,
Yeah, 16
No
tons.
kidding. Well, that's good. It's good to have one or two of those on our side, man. Maybe even monitoring our activities and reporting back to J. Edgar Hoover Building
Right.
about our illicit affairs with multiple, prostitutes and love children and all of those things that happen when you're a civil
you know
rights
what?
activist and leader.
Right.
If you are using the push to talk, if you release it, it goes off.
If you release it, we won't hear the traffic going by and whatnot. Jesus.
All right, so John, I think it's time now that we
Oh.
turn it over to our Comics Flake correspondent, Midget. You came begging in Discord, which I thought was
Well,
especially
I was
tasty
just
and
He just
trying to
wanted to
satisfying.
shoot
hang
the
out, I
shit with you
think.
guys.
Yeah.
Oh.
We don't have to
I
talk
was just
about
trying to
comics
shoot it,
here,
but I mean, there are developments, but they.
Yeah,
we-
I think
That's
Basic
fine.
Bear was
You
talking
sure?
about this. Was somebody knew they were talking about this
Yeah,
getting
he
ready
did
to happen?
mention Uncle Ethan.
So I
Did mention
actually
Basic.
have some little bit of an idea of what's going on with what you posted and what you were.
Oh, are you finally enlightened to the drama of our
Whoa,
lifetimes?
back up! I just said I knew what the I just said I knew what the hell you were talking about. I didn't say I gave a crap. No, no, I didn't go too deep into it, but I know what you're referencing, and it's I don't have fun. It's it is what it is. It's Comicsgate, brought to you
Well,
live by
I actually
Benadryl.
I ordered another crowdfunded comic. I got Flying
Get the-
Fortress, and then
Nice.
your boy Zach launched his second campaign today. So, well, it's his third campaign, but it's his second, like Jawbreaker's book. Jawbreaker's being the one that started the lawsuit.
Now, have you read the other one? The first?
Yeah,
Two? Is
yeah,
it
I've
good?
got it. Yeah, it's sitting on my.
Uh,
In my opinion, it's enjoyable, but like he's not very good at transitions.
mm,
Like a lot of his scenes transition very quickly, where like you really only get a few panels.
right.
Basically his story moves along really fast, and like basically by page 5 or 6, like most of the plot is like developed.
Huh. Is it
So
really short,
it-
or what's the
it's
deal
like
with that? Do you think?
it's like yeah, I think it's condensed, is what I'm trying to say. It's
Yeah.
very condensed. I wish he had taken more panels to like flesh out.
I
his
mean, that could
characters
be a
and-
money thing. That could just be funding.
Yeah, and a planning and editing thing, and
Oh,
he's actually
so
taken that feedback as like
mm.
criticism, and he's taken it to heart. So
Well,
we'll
that's
see
good.
how this next one goes.
So Michael Vega's asking,
Yeah.
what the fuck are we talking about? So could you explain what the fuck we're talking
Oh.
about?
Yeah, sure. So briefly, Michael Vega, the lawsuit that I referred to is Richard C. Meyer v. Mark Wade. Mark Wade being a prominent comic book professional, currently writing stuff like, he was writing a lot of Marvel comics. I forget which ones in particular, but Anyway, a lot of influence in the industry. He shit talked, Richard C. Meyer, basically defamed him, and interfered with a contract he had to publish this book, Jawbreakers, with Antarctic Press. He's currently being sued about it. Jawbreakers was released, crowdfunded. He did everything himself, which was cool. I have a copy on the bookshelf, and he's launching Jawbreakers 2, which is already like 95% finished. It just has to go through the crowdfunding process, be printed, and shipped out. So he's also done a couple other books, as well as our Uncle Ethan Van Sciver. He hosts a live talk show where they talk about all of the Comicsgate projects. There's something really for everyone. There's horror, there's sci-fi, there's adventure, there's there Earthworm Jim, is an unofficial Comicsgate comic. Earthworm Jim, Doug TenNapel finally, after 20 years of having created the character, finally has the rights to use the image again. So he's writing a comic book.
Badass.
Yes, dude.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so, and that's at like almost $500,000 right now.
That's awesome.
Yes, dude.
Good for them.
It is good for them, and it's a good thing for consumers. Again, it's an example of decentralization, which I think is a very good thing. But it's also, basically an example of you can get around these gatekeepers, these haters. These people get hit pieces written about them all the time. If you Google Comicsgate, you'll get Kotaku and all these garbage tier media articles about they're all the ists and phobes, and you're all of these awful things because you don't like Kamala Khan, because fucking Kamala Khan.
Oh, Squirrel Girl. That's my favorite one. I like Squirrel Girl.
The unbeatable Squirrel Girl.
Yeah, isn't she all like fat and like POC?
Yeah, she thick.
She got. Wait, when did Squirrel Girl get fat? She
Oh,
didn't start out
dude.
fat.
Get a midget.
She didn't start out.
Right, she used to be
She
cute.
didn't.
She used to be cute and like girl
Squirrely.
next door and very
See,
ironic character. Now she's a serious character, and damn, is she unattractive. Gotta beat that male gaze. Gotta defeat it.
Yep.
nice.
It's male gaze. For a non-homophobic ideology, they're very afraid of the male gaze. It's insane.
Yeah. For a non-homophobic ideology, they sure like to beat up gay Asian
The
journalists.
male gaze, yes. And Asian journalists, yes. Asian gay journalists. But that's a whole different topic.
It should be reframed. That was a homophobic, racist attack.
Oh, no, 100% it was. Absolutely.
On Squirrel Girl.
I mean, that's just
Wyatt says
their
he
game.
thinks that we broke Robert's heart. We did.
Yeah, I don't know why you would ruin Squirrel Girl. I mean, she was perfect the way she was.
I'm sorry, but they
wasn't
drew her like a
inclusive enough.
mongoloid. They
Yeah, it
drew her
wasn't-
like a caveman, like descended.
No, that's not
know.
true. They love Squirrel Girl. They wouldn't. Y'all are just.
I-
Y'all are
Go
just
look
trying
it
to
up
mess
after
with
this.
things.
Look her up.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, look her up.
You
You'll
know
see.
what? Please don't, Robert. I don't want you
No.
to go through that pain.
No, because he's skeptical. So he needs to be proven wrong.
Oh, jeez.
Nobody-
Must
I
we
know.
put him through that just
Yeah,
for...
unfortunately. The red pill
All
isn't
right,
always
Robert,
an
you
easy
asked-
pill to swallow.
That's right.
It
You asked for this, Robert.
can be
You
very
asked for
painful.
it.
Yeah.
Look, she was just a girl with some squirrels.
She's just a girl with some
Yeah.
squirrels.
Yeah, and
Oh,
I don't know. Are you sure they made her dark? I mean, that doesn't make much sense.
No, they didn't make her a POC. They just
Oh, they
made her a
didn't?
caveman.
I thought they did.
No, they just made her a freaking Australopithecus.
Nice. Good word.
Nice.
Oh, man.
What?
Yeah,
So,
she's got like a sloping forehead and wall eyes and squirrel teeth and yeah, flat chest and what the hell?
What was wrong with
These
her to
people
begin
are-
with? I don't understand.
She was too
No,
sexy.
you have to
That's
take
bad.
right. She was too cute. You have to take these things and you can't make your own things. You have
No.
to take things that exist that you like heard of one time. That's
Well,
what
you
they
know,
mean by I love it.
I'll
Is
see.
like,
Yeah.
oh, I've heard,
They knew it
I saw
existed.
it right. They
So
don't know
this,
anything about it or care. They're just like, let's take that and make it a
Yeah.
vehicle for our political agenda.
I mean, dude, they even got fucking Warhammer 40K. They even got a hold of that.
They're trying.
No,
Well,
they
they did
did.
get a little bit
They
of it,
did.
didn't
Yeah,
they?
they got a foothold for sure.
I'm
They
so
got a
sad. I
foothold.
mean, there was
Yeah.
already Adeptus Sororitas. No
Yeah,
one was
but
hating on females in that game. Damn, and they didn't attract any more women to the game.
well, that's the problem. It's because there's too many men that the women are just scared. They have
Oh,
no
of
agency
course.
of their own, don't you know? They must be told and
And
pandered to.
that's yeah. There's the nail that you hit on the head.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Been doing this for a while. I know.
you kids in your
Depressing.
kids in your comic
Yeah.
books. Jesus, go out and mow
It's
the
not even
lawn or
comic. It's
something.
not even just comic books. That's the thing. It's video
It's
games, especially.
everything. It's anything you've
Any
ever
yeah,
enjoyed.
any industry that you've ever enjoyed, any hobby you like. Wait till they come for like model airplanes.
Your
And shit.
your generation asked for it.
No,
Yes,
there's no such
yes,
thing as a collective generation. No, the generation is not a collective.
you're right. The last two generations, or the two
No,
newest generations, have been asking for it.
no, that would be your generation and ours. Because Gen Z, Gen Z hasn't asked for anything like that. It's Gen X and millennials.
Don't even.
That's it. But no, I mean, it's not
We
even
all
a
just
generation
want to
thing.
get along.
It's an ideological thing, not a generational thing. Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's yeah. You guys want to make America great again,
Yeah, wouldn't that suck?
but not the
Yeah,
same
wouldn't
way
it?
it was.
Oh yeah, dude, Beldelphine bathwater.
What is that?
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
So
Delicious.
she's some like
Compl-
she's a Twitch thought, isn't she?
Oh yeah, and a TikTok thought.
A TikTok
Yep.
thought. Yeah, so she's apparently been selling Gamer Girl bathwater at $30 a pop,
Selling
and
what?
it's just like Gamer Girl bathwater. So it's
Okay.
supposed to be water that she's bathed in, and is selling it.
Naturally.
Yeah, in like a little tiny jar for like $30.
Neckbeards went
So,
wild.
in other words, capitalizing on the depravity of men.
Yes, and it supposedly worked. Yeah,
Makes sense.
supposedly it worked. Just so long as it's real, it worked. Because she was apparently sold out of it very quickly.
Well, I mean, it's not
how
like she
many
can't
baths
go
can
make.
you take,
right?
really?
Right, she can make more. But I mean, the memes have been just spectacular.
But I
You know.
mean,
It's more about the memes, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah,
yeah.
the
We
memes have
should
been
post.
great.
All right.
There's a whole industry about
Generation
this
Gap
shit.
Army post memes in the Discord of
Yes,
Gamer Girl bathwater.
post memes in the generational gap Discord as well. I
Post
can't be the only one.
post memes.
Yes, all the memes.
For my amusement, for I have seen very few of these memes.
It's funny. T.J. Kirk, formerly the Amazing Atheist, posted a picture on Twitter with it's a big ass jar full of like the nastiest, dirty like bog water, and he's like, I'm selling this for $10,000 a drop. It's water that I simply wash my hands in, and it's just like
Nice.
just the nastiest looking water.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty great. So
Well,
even he's responding. He doesn't care about anything.
But and this is something that I've done for a long time. Is just watch this industry. This, I mean, it's been around since the internet was new, right? Long ago, and in the long ago, what do you call it, John?
In the before time.
In the before time.
Long ago.
In the long ago, right? Yeah, there. This whole, what is possible on the internet when it comes to sex, and I mean, it's just. I mean, the internet made everything possible, but men will. I mean, that's just. Isn't it just sad what men will pay? Isn't it sad what men will pay for? It's
100%.
it's
It's
I
sad
mean,
what anyone will pay for. Yeah,
it's kind of
100%. I have
sad.
no
And
problem. I have
yes,
no problem with her.
uh,
Get yours, boo boo. I don't care.
So
You gotta get your money too.
do we have
yeah,
anybody
but
that
hey, bitch, pay your taxes. Like,
Yeah.
hmm,
Oh
for
yeah, that's
real.
right. All those fucking Twitch thoughts who weren't paying their income tax when they were getting like shitloads of money, and then they started getting told on to the IRS. The IRS was like, "What? I'm sorry. Is this a thing?
Oh, this is.
You better
We're
start
keen
paying
to
up, bitch." And
investigate
she's like,
this.
"I
That's
have $20. Like I've spent it all already." Oh well, bitch, pay up. Oh man, that was great. Yeah, those were good times. That was like a couple months ago.
I mean that industry just keeps blowing up. I mean, cam girls. I mean, how many cam
Oh yeah,
girls can you find out there? You can find thousands upon thousands of
sure.
tens of thousands of cam
It's
girls, and
easy. I mean, I
it's
mean, imagine being able to make money just like laying in bed and jerking yourself off or
well,
schlicking yourself.
that
right.
would be
I mean,
so great.
Right?
but I mean, you can do it. I mean, even you guys could do
Yeah.
it. I
I'm
mean,
sure someone
I
would watch.
suppose.
right.
I'm sure someone would.
There's somebody that wants
Someone.
to watch a gross neckbeard jerk off.
100%. That's
And
someone's
they
fetish.
will give you money, right? So you can
Yeah.
go on there for 15 minutes, and I don't know what you're going to do with the other 14 minutes, but still,
Yeah, something.
build up something, rub some Crisco on
Yeah.
your nipples or
You gotta
something.
just
You know,
rub the nipples.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, 15 minutes, make yourself a couple of $100.
Sounds good.
Right?
I could edge for 15, 20 minutes for somebody.
Right?
Is this an appropriate topic for a live
Of course.
broadcast?
Of course it is.
It's just something that's
All right.
currently happening in our society that is, I don't know. It's how could
It's
you get in trouble?
newsworthy, yeah.
How could you get in trouble for talking about it when it's one of the
Yeah.
biggest industries out there?
Not only
You
that,
know?
we're not monetized, so YouTube doesn't give a fuck what we say.
But what if one day they did?
I just
Well, they
said
might,
on.
then
I just
we'll be
said
open
all
about
over
it.
the internet that I would do
We're
stuff.
not monetized, so YouTube is
I
Whoa,
just said all over the
echo.
internet that I would do stuff.
Well, no one knows what you look like
That's
except
what
for
happened.
so you'll be fine. Sometimes
Well.
you got to lay your soul bare on the internet. Sometimes
You got to put it all out
feels
there.
good.
Leave it
It's
all out on the
cathartic.
stage, baby.
Yeah, it's cathartic. Feels good. Feels good.
Does it
Well,
feel good, John?
It does.
1 second.
One Mississippi.
I'm going to.
Oh,
Hey,
We're done. Yeah.
see,
Nice. You counted to 1.
can I
I
talk?
did.
Can I tell you?
It's more than
While we
Beacon
have while we have an interim and just get to listen to some traffic.
Seems like good job.
I downloaded a new game, a new mobile app.
Oh,
I think I said something in Discord in our
that's
off
unfortunate.
mic. It's called Teppen, but it's Capcom characters. And I just have to say that the graphics in this game are really awesome, and they have Morrigan from Dark Souls. Remember that old game?
No, I never
We
played
used to-
Dark Souls.
We used to play it at the arcade. Yeah, they were big boxes
Oh
you
hell
would
yeah!
stand
Morgan
in front of.
is, yeah.
But they,
Waifu. Morgan is waifu.
His waifu.
but they have done her justice in this game. They earned
Yeah, she's
they earned their mature 17 rating with her.
nice.
That's good to hear.
I'm like
Yeah, that is good to
more.
hear.
I'm like I just fell in love with Morrigan
Quick
again because
stuff.
she was pushing the envelope in an arcade, with what she
Yeah.
was looking like. But this one, I'm just, oh wow, realistic physics and everything.
Oh.
Awesome. So yeah. So
No, that's good because there's been a big push to stop that sort of thing in video games. So I'm glad that's still happening.
all it's going to do is take it off the primary stores and put it out in third-party APKs and blah blah blah. There's nothing you can
Right.
do about it.
It decentralizes it, which will make it better. People will be more free to make the art that they want to make.
Yeah, but it also makes it more dangerous.
Hopefully.
In the according to them, you've got to sit and trust a third party to send you the proper APK and hope it's
Yeah.
not Russians trying to rig our elections.
Well, I mean, you'll find out pretty quick, what sites are good and what aren't. If you've ever sailed the high seas for finding movies and whatnot.
I no longer
You
do anything near that.
I don't either.
I've learned
it's been a long time.
I've learned my
In fact, it's
lesson
been
more
so
than
long
once.
that I don't know what it is, but the what's it called? When you did a crime a long time ago, but it no longer applies because
Statute
the
of
statute
limitations.
of limitations. Yeah, that's how long it's been. It's been exactly that long
That
since I've
was
done that.
that was a long way to go for a lame duck joke.
Yeah, well, I forgot the name, the term. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. You should have had a little
has to do with
foresight
this.
on this one, John. Less
Yeah.
foreskin, more foresight.
Oh man, I'm out of rum.
Yeah. So yeah, but I mean, it's that I don't know, man. This it's I like the security of the app stores, things like that. It's kind of like Steam,
Yeah,
right? You want to get a game from Steam or someplace like that because you can trust the source that
yeah,
it's coming through, right? Start regulating what the stores, but who would regulate that, right? I mean, only the stores. Apple does a pretty good job of policing theirs, but a lot of people cry foul all the time that they can't get stuff that they want through the Apple store for their
right. They're
devices.
very restrictive. Um, no, I mean it's one of those things where you'll find out really quick because people will bitch about it, and you're like, oh, well, I'm not gonna go there, right? Same thing with on Steam. You can look at games that are on there, and you see like mostly negative reviews, and it's like, oh, well, fuck this game. I'm not gonna get it,
Well,
right? I mean that's how that works. It's community driven, and that's how it should be.
doesn't Apple have something built into its TOS
I have
about?
no fucking clue.
I want to
I
say
don't use
something
Apple
like
ever.
if you I want to say somewhere in their terms of service for the phones themselves, like if you download third-party apps, that they can consider that if something happens to the phone, they can consider that a violation of your warranty because you didn't get it from the Apple store.
I was under the impression that you couldn't download third-party apps to begin with on
You
an
used to be
iPhone.
able
I
to.
don't
So
know. I have no idea.
if they took that
Never.
functionality out, because I used to be able to without having to jailbreak,
Mm,
you could pull in third party apps. But this was way back. I stopped using Apple a
yeah.
long time ago because
Yeah,
I
I've
didn't.
never had an iPhone, not
I mean,
once. I would never use an Apple product.
you know what? It's exactly like a phone, just with different icons for the same apps with different names.
Yeah, but it's also Apple. So
Well, I mean, you can see it as Satan as you want, but Google this.
yeah.
I mean, it's
And
you know,
And
it's
DuckDuckGo.
also far less technologically like advanced or capable or functional or
Yeah,
useful. It's like
and
a
doesn't have
phone
it
except worse.
shittier and twice as expensive.
Uh,
Yeah.
I will say this. When you say that,
I like how I
always take
unmuted just to shit on Apple. I
right.
am
Yeah,
mute
fuck
again
Apple.
while I chase this fucking cat.
All
Always,
right.
always with a grain of salt. You must remember that Apple stifles so much capability of their phones through governors and this, that, and the other that you don't really get the full potential of the phone.
Well, yeah,
You
of
don't
course
really
not.
get to experience the full potential unless you jailbreak it. If you jailbreak one of those sons of guns,
Hmm.
there's a hell of a phone in there.
Yeah.
There's a hell of a device. Lots of processing
I used to
power.
have a friend, again, beyond the statute of limitations, who would do that sort of thing for a price. He would jailbreak it and put a bunch of shit on there that you wanted. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool deal. So he did the same thing with Xbox 360s. Again, past the statute of limitations.
Right.
He would, yeah, do that, and then you'd get one. He had like a thumb drive. He would stick in there, and put like thousands of games
Nice.
on there. Yeah, so it was pretty sweet. But obviously, you can't. There's no warranty on it. You can't take it in to get serviced or anything. But you had thousands of games for like $35.
Well, I tell you, one of the coolest moves that a developer ever did was Android. The Android system.
Hmm.
Because a few years back, if you wanted to do anything outside of like
Oh,
say get rid
fuck.
of bloatware on an Android device, things like this, you had to root the phone. You've heard the
Hmm.
term rooting the phone,
Hmm.
right? And you would have to do that with third-party software. Originally, when it was first a thing, you would have to hook it up to your computer and root it through your computer, and then turn around and started being able to do it by doing some download rooting, this, that, and the other. But eventually, Android evolved to where now you can basically root from within the Android software now. So you can just go ahead and get to the root of your phone, and they've kind of taken the need for that, all of the, whereas Apple, you still got to go through, I'm sure you've got to jump through some Prince of Persia level to get that
Yeah.
thing jailbroken.
There's really
these
no
days.
such thing as a file browser. There's no such thing as a file browser, at least by default on any like Apple iOS device I've ever worked with. There's no such thing as a pictures folder or a downloads folder or a folder to keep your documents or any sort of nope. It's all just an icon on your stupid one button, simple touch. Oh God,
But
just
I,
cavity brain.
I have to say this
device.
about Apple. I got to give them these props. I used one of the first Apples, the old Apple Macintosh,
Jesus.
and it
I'm
was
sorry.
and it was an all-inclusive thing. It was a box,
Yeah,
and it
dust
had
that one off, why don't
Yeah,
you?
it was so simple.
it had a
was so
box and a
great, and it
monitor.
had
And
one
at the
mouse button.
at the time, compared to the Microsoft system, because I want to say it was DOS 3.5. So I forget which DOS version it was. It was using Windows
Talking shit.
before I used it on a Windows-based system, right? That's
You know
what it was
what
very
sucks?
similar to. I was doing desktop publishing with it back in that day.
You know what sucks about Apple's computers though is they had the mouse with one button. That pissed me off. One fucking button. Well, you can't
They
even spring for
evolved.
two.
They evolved.
I don't know if they did. Last time I saw a Mac was like, I don't know, 2007
Oh
or
no,
8.
yeah, no.
Like that was the last time I saw
Their
one.
mouse
Nobody
is it doesn't even have buttons on it. It just has a touch sensitive plate over the top, and when you press on the left or press
Maybe
on the
now,
right,
yeah.
it senses it. Yeah, I mean it's a
Oh yes, that's not what I saw. It was one mouse. It was a wired mouse. And this was a long time ago. Again, wired mouse, and it had one button. So you would like pop, pop, or you would hold it down for right click, I guess.
No, there was you had to Apple click.
Those are the olden times in the long ago.
It was a long ago. In the before times.
In the before times, there you go.
Yeah, in the long ago.
Hey, I'm just saying that I mean it is what it is, though. I mean,
played fucking Star Wars X-wing on that bitch.
I can,
I never did, but
it's
we, you know who I'm talking about, midget. Certain friend that I used to have, who had a Mac. One that isn't a friend anymore.
Yeah, for reasons and stuff.
For good reasons.
Oh my
yeah.
God, you girls
Sometimes
and your
people
gossip,
suck.
trying to be
Yeah,
so
we're gossiping.
No, I mean sometimes
obtuse.
people steal from you, and you like trust them and let you into your house, and
all you can say is like, "Oh my God, you have to go."
Especially when they were friends from high school, and you've friends for like 10 years, and then they start stealing from you, and then yeah.
I cannot believe that you shit on me this way. You have got to go. I cannot handle this.
See, it wasn't like that. It was more like, I'm just not going to talk to you now, and then I didn't, and it's been
doing that makes
several
me
years.
miserable.
Yeah, it's been like 4 years since I talked to him. So
yeah, sounds like you're over it.
Yeah, no, I'm fine.
That one person.
I only cried
that
like
one
constantly about
thing.
it. No, it was more than one thing, but that's a whole other.
Yeah,
hurt my little feelers.
Yeah.
So I'm tired of talking to you guys because you don't talk about anything good except wanting to be communists.
What do you want to talk about, Robert?
I don't want to talk about anything.
Can you
That's
guys
why I'm
even
leaving.
hear me? My thing isn't turning green.
Whoa. Yeah, we can hear you.
You know what?
A lot.
Okay, you're
from
fine.
the rumor,
Never
from the
mind. Go
rumors
ahead,
I've
Robert.
heard. From the rumors I've heard, your shit's been turning green for a while. So no. Thank you, John. It took you long enough. So if you like what you're hearing, hit the like button. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Tonight we had Midget B bringing us a little bit of the comic scape fun.
If you like what you're hearing, get checked out by a psychiatrist.
That's true.
And then hit the like button on your way out.
And the subscribe button, of course.
Why did we have him on again?
Oh, he's a fun guy. He's all right. He's not like Nate.
Yeah, well, we should treat him like a fun guy. keep him in the dark and feed him a lot of shit.
Jeez, every time.
Did you foam over? You foamed over, didn't you?
Yes.
Because
This beer.
you tried to
I've opened
crack it so
3.
hard to be heard on the air.
Right? You try to be all cool and you fucked it up. That's great.
It's the third beer, and it's the third one to just foam right out of the can like that. I don't know why it does this. Why you do this?
Why you do this? Why you do this?
John, it's been
Just
real and it's
want
been
to be
fun, but
left
it hasn't been
alone.
real fun. It's just been a little bit of fun. I'm not
And a
doing
little bit of real.
cartwheels. Hey, we're going to be back on Friday night. We're coming up
Yes.
at 8:30 on Friday night for our standard episode of the week. Do we have anything going on this Friday, John?
Not yet. We should know tomorrow or Wednesday about our special guest who may be coming on.
I may be picking a fight in Discord. I may choose one of you to antagonize and see if we can get into a brawl. Maybe we'll brawl online on Friday. That sounds like fun. I'm wanting to get
What?
rowdy at somebody.
Really?
What?
Yeah, call
Well,
somebody
Nate's
out.
in the
What is going on, Robert?
yeah.
I've got anger issues.
You
I
have ting
want to
angst
vent.
now.
I want to vent.
All right.
I've been triggered
Oh no!
by the world.
You saw Squirrel Girl, didn't you?
That was not
You
pleasant.
Right.
It has ruined a couple of things for me that I won't go into because we've already talked about the porn industry. But moving past that, no. Anyway, again, Morrigan. Morrigan.
Let's do the.
I've replaced her with Morrigan, so we're good. I've
Right,
got
fair
my
enough.
new love now, Morrigan.
I'm glad to hear that, Robert.
Yeah, your waifu has changed. That's okay.
But I still want to rip somebody up. I need a good old debate where I tell somebody to shut the hell up. Maybe
So,
throw
yeah.
in a
What?
Jane, you ignorant slut.
Nate will be in the Discord, I'm sure.
You have
He's raring for a fight
particular,
too.
Yeah, target in mind? Do you have like a topic in mind? Is there something that like you actually know about that you could like pants
appears
somebody on the like,
No, I like I said, I've been triggered, but I guess I'm just waiting for somebody to pull the trigger, like really pull the trigger and incite me. I don't know.
So you're
back in
cocked,
1911.
I'm cocked. Yeah,
cocked and loaded, ready to fire.
Yeah. So I don't know. It might be you, midget. You never know.
Oh shit, dude.
Banhammer to
I don't know. I doubt. I mean,
So if you want to see this go down,
Discord.
check out the Discord. That's in the
I'm
If
not
I-
in the
description.
Discord
if I see him as-
nearly enough to catch none of that heat. I don't even
That's
pay
true.
attention. I mute that shit. I show up when I want to. I post a few shits, and then I'm out.
And you're a moderator, you fucking slacker.
Oh yeah, I'm not checking on y'all. You can post all the sinks you want.
That's alright. Tenchi keeps a hold of it though.
I
He's pretty
think
good about it.
Good.
I'll leave it at this. I might be becoming a Trump supporter.
Oh no, you are triggered then, because
I
you gotta
am-
hate yourself right now.
Listen, everybody's coming around to it.
You gotta
Everyone's
hate
coming
yourself
around.
now.
Even like the thing is, like the moderates have been like resolved, or at least resolute.
Oh, shut up
in-
with your
in their, like,
moderates.
whatever.
Shut up with your
But
with
then,
your
you know, even
libertarian outlook.
but even like people who kind of hated him on the basis of character are coming around to the fact that yes, he is in fact the president, and yes, he in fact will probably win another 4-year term, and
Yeah.
you might as well get over it. And hey, you know, things aren't so bad. Remember when
Yeah.
Paul Krugman decided, you know, told everyone that the world would end? How many times has he been wrong? Why does anyone still listen to that asshole? But normies, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. In fact, there was a friend that we have who's been in the chat before, so I'll name him. Cameron was talking about, he's going to be impeached in 6 months. It's been 3 years.
You know, I have not nearly rubbed that in his face enough.
Oh no, I've
You
taken
would-
care of it. Believe me, I've taken care of it.
I was there from day one, like
Yeah.
just ridiculing that idea.
Yeah,
And I haven't been around. That's the thing. I've been absent from you guys.
You
but I'll
have
be back
been.
this weekend.
you're an absentee
will-
midget.
I will go over all of the Clinton Foundation nonsense.
Well,
and-
he'll be here on
Hey, did you
Saturday
see that
too.
pizza?
So
Did you see that pizza place blew up in Broward County in Plantation, Florida?
I did. I did
Weird.
see that.
Right as Jeffrey Epstein got arrested.
Oh no,
You know,
dude!
a
It was
couple
a
days
gas
before he
leak.
got.
Come on, it was a gas leak.
Oh,
It's not...
totally. In an abandoned pizza shop. That.
Yeah, dude.
Right.
It was a gas leak. It's
Really?
Absolutely.
Is this where you two go?
I
mean,
I'm mostly just
listen.
fueling his fire, not. I don't really give a fuck.
I didn't declare for the man. I just said words. So
You did. That's all it took, though.
sit your
But
little tails
yeah,
down.
let's get the hell out of here now.
I can convince
I
myself
suppose.
otherwise. Trust me. All right. Like I said, if you like what you're hearing, hit the like button. If you don't like what you're hearing, please hit the like button because that's the only way we'll know for
Out
sure.
of spite.
And
Spite, yeah.
hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. John, there's some places they can find us at. Please go into your spiel.
Yes, you can find us on Twitter, not at Twitter, but on Twitter at the GenGapP. You can find the Discord link in the description.
Yes, point at your dick.
Yes, in my dick, and you can find also on my dick, right on the tip, Freedom Scoop, which is also where we're at. So you can find us there as well. You can find us and some other people who aren't as important as us, but they're all right for a couple of white boys. Yeah.
All right, are we all done with your blather?
I suppose so.
Folks, it's been real. It's been
goodness.
fun, and hopefully we'll see you again Friday night for that show. We'll be shooting the shit again next Monday night. Maybe we'll have something really good to shoot the shit about. Maybe it'll be Comicsgate again. Kill me now.
It wasn't even Comicsgate much.
It wasn't.
Hey,
yeah.
hey,
I'd like to say
you will, when spoken to, sir, when spoken to. Anyway, thanks again, Midget, for dropping by and speaking with us and letting us hear the, the ambient sounds of the local neighborhood. That was always
Yes.
thrilling.
Oh God, yeah. Love this neighborhood.
And be sure to check Midget B. Nope, you can't. So anyway, we're going to
That's
get the hell out of here.
Totally
you guys have a good night.
incognito.
John,
Fuck you,
peace
you can't
out.
find me.
See you guys.
Peace.